First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world, all around the world. So wonderful to be with you. It's another day, another time that we are together, being able to jam with you right here, live and in full effect on The Foundation. And welcome here, guys. I want to thank you so very kindly for being able to tune in and listening in to what we got going on over here. Hope you guys are good out there, being able to make some things happen and continue to be able to move in the direction that you were called to move in, with passion, with determination, with focus, with commitment in your heart, and being able to make those things happen, guys. It's a beautiful day. It's a Friday. It's a different Friday. It's not them same typical Fridays that you can be able to look at. It's a different Friday entirely. This is a Friday, the last Friday before the election. Now, I know a lot of you persons are out there and sort of in this kind of a position that you've already made your determination as to exactly who you're going to be voting for. But there's some people out here who don't know what they can do. Our last show is going to be on Monday. We're going to have a good conversation with you on Monday, but today we want to be able to sort of get a temperatures exactly what's what. Make sure you hit me up. Hit me up. Let me know if you can be able to hear me and tell me exactly what's what. If you could hear me good, live and in full effect in these particular areas, guys. The paper is out. I want to talk about some stuff. I've been able to see some things happening around the country. I watched with bated breath last night to see how our Prime Minister would be able to address the what has been levied against him in his particular capacity. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Give me a call, guys. 827-0111, 827-0111. Want to hear a little bit about from. Want to hear from you. Want to talk about those particular things as we continue to be able to move forward, guys. Hit me up, guys, and make sure you like and share foundation242.com, foundation242, all over the social media platforms, and also you can be able to pick me up, Dove 103.7 in Grand Bahama. You can be able to pick me up in that particular capacity as we continue to jam with you and talk about these things. I gotta think. I want to be able to get this, man. Listen, man. I like when I like things, I can bring it to you. This is a funky thing. We're out here with jamming, man. I'm grateful to you, grateful to all those persons being able to tune with us as we continue to jam. Hit me up, like I said, 827-0111. It ain't no more time for the jiving. Who you voting for? I think we can be able to have a very clear position and talk about that. Let's just talk about this. I think we could be able to take on a very clear position and say, this is who I believe should be given the next chance. This is who I believe should be able to move in a particular direction. This is who I believe. Say, boy, Howard, D-Day almost here. Well, you know you have the show on election day. Will you have a show on election day? I know you didn't for the advance poll. No, I won't have a show for the election day. But tally night, we're going to have a show. Now, it ain't going to be a show like how you thinking it can be a show. And I want you guys to be able to come down. All right, we can put some couches in the place. I can make the stage. I can set up the stage. We can put our televisions in the background. We can put everything there, and we can make it go. I want y'all guys to be here. We can call my good friend Ephraim Jones over at Garden of Eden. He'll bring some finger foods, and we'll be able to put some things in here to make sure that you're comfortable. We got air conditioning. We got everything in here that you need. Either that, or we're going to go by Ephraim. Yeah, I think we're going to go by Ephraim and make some things happen. Ephraim and I are going to have that kind of a conversation today. I can go check him out and see exactly what's what, and then we'll set it up for Tuesday. Ephraim says to me that I can be able to do it right around the pool. I just need 20 of you guys to be able to come and check me out. I've been trying to be able to get down to Bahama. I can get no call back from these people. I ain't get nothing from them. So I wouldn't be able to know exactly what's what, and I can't give an accurate position for that. But I was hoping that we can do it. I was hoping. It's just, what's an amazing thing is that time runs up on you, and everybody else is so consumed with some stuff. You got some sponsors, you got some people. Everybody's so consumed doing their own thing. And so you got to be able to figure this out for yourself. One monkey don't stop no show. All right, so we want to do tally night, right? Listen, we want to do tally night, okay? We want to be able to put our cameras in the place, do all our stuff like this, and do tally night, okay? And we want to be able to do it in such a manner that we could be able to invite some voices, some trusted voices to be able to sit with us. So we can be able to have a good conversation to talk about the history of a great deal of these particular things and see if we can be able to get them out. All right, so this is going to be exciting for us, and we hope that you would tune in. It's going to be right here on foundation242.com, foundation242, all over the social media platforms. You're going to be able to do that. We won't be going live on the radio, right? Dove and I haven't had a conversation with that. And so we haven't had a conversation with anyone along those lines about being able to do that. But we will be doing this live. Okay? Even if I got to sit back here in the back of this desk and cut the thing on this television back here, And we do this. I know my wife can be here, so she like tally night. She like tally night. So we can be able to talk about that and be able to identify those things and break down each one of the constituencies. So I will not have a show in the day. I don't know how long it can take me to vote. I don't know. I know I won't be out there from about 7 a.m. I won't be out there from early on the people line and preparing to vote. So I want to be in a position that I can be able to get this done early. But I couldn't tell you how the whole thing's going to play out. I don't know. And I don't know whether or not I have any more faith in Harrison Thompson and what he's been doing it over the course of the past few weeks. Yeah. Why don't you come, man? Don't just say, Howard, it should be fun. Come down. Let's be able to participate. Everybody, I'll have about 8 mics in here. I got everything for it. We could set it up. I'll have all the mics in here. I'll have everything set up in here. We could sit down in here and be able to have a very good conversation. And we are centrally located. So if you want to jump from one party or one space to another and go ride down the road and come back, hey, we're good to do that. It's a secured location, secured environment. And we'd love you to be able to hang out with us just for a couple of minutes. Hit me up. I'm 827-0111, 827-0111. Let me know if you're interested so we can be able to do something like that. But it's going to be, that's what we're doing. All right? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about these things. The Prime Minister last night, let's just dive right into it, okay? The Prime Minister last night was very graceful. And his retort and his rebuttal. He didn't give us any backstory. He didn't tell us anything. He graciously thanked the Prime Minister for his support, the former Prime Minister. He indicated that he was his old friend. And as an old friend, this is what he's done. And so I thought it was graceful as I listened in and being able to see that. I thought it was graceful. I might have myself, talk to me. I might have had some choice words. He's never even called Sabas's name. He's indicated that there's only one Prime Minister on this ballot, right? Really being able to dismiss everything that the Prime Minister has indicated, former Prime Minister has indicated, and I thought that was graceful. I thought that was the statesman-like posture that we've been looking for, that we've been expecting, that we enjoy seeing coming from our politicians in this country. You know, what's peculiar to me is that the Free National Movement has done everything, gone above and beyond, as it relates to being able to identify international persons to be able to monitor what we're doing here in the country, right? Gone all out just to show the people how silly we could be in this country. Kalal Bethel, a friend of mine, to say what he said, I thought it was wild, crazy wild, and absolutely irresponsible. Absolutely irresponsible. Crazy wild and absolutely irresponsible. Now, I watch him, I listen to him, and I for the past few nights that, I don't know whether or not it's sort of the electricity that's in the place and everybody's just being able to scream and you feel like you got to scream with them and you saying something. You don't really mean to say that. I really mean to say that. That normally wouldn't come out of my mouth, but, I was so excited. The adrenaline was on me. My God, I had to get it out. You wouldn't say that. Silly things. Silly. When he started to throw the passports the first night, I said, well, this is peculiar. Why Kalal doing this? Why are they being able to yield to this concept of theatrics? Why are they doing this? I look at it and I ask the question, why are they doing this? Why? I asked the question. And then I see him throwing the passports. I see him doing all these particular things. And I didn't know what to make of it. I said, why would they do something like this? And this is what kept me pushing down this sort of a path to say that this is not the Free National Movement that I know. And then for him to take on this kind of a position to be able to speak more specifically about the gentleman out of the United States of America, where the office of the Prime Minister is indicating that they've actually paid them a strategic amount to be able to do these things. I thought it was wildly strange. Let's look for the paper. I thought it was absolutely irresponsible. I said, hold on, we're looking for the papers. I got all the paper right here. What I do over the past few days. Oh Lord, I must have moved that paper. I thought it was I thought it was silly. Can I say that? That's all I want to say. I thought it was silly. There's no two ways about that. And as I looked at that, I was disappointed. Yet again. Because these are men, Carl's father, Carl Bethel, learned man in our society. And I sure you could tell your son, don't do these things. Because time is longer than rope. And your aspirations to be able to ascend to a significant office should not be marred, stained by your enthusiasm in the moment of an election that is absolutely is complete, is done. In my mind, this is finished. Now, we are looking for some upsets, we're looking for some surprises, we're looking for some this, we're looking for some that, and I believe that these things will happen. But the sensitivity that's coming out of the United States of America and Trump being able to identify our country already in a peculiar manner, all right? We've already been identified as a nation in a category, all right? On the People Christian radio station, and in conjunction with IRCA, I will not say what that category is or has been identified as from Donald Trump. But I will say to you, that it's not favorable. This kind of conditioning, this position, this identification, the way that they speak of us, this sort of a condescension, this sort of an idea that has been billowing out of the White House, is not a good thing. Because we're lumped in, we're not segregated, we're not separated, we're not identified as an individual. We're not standing alone. We're lumped into the 46 million people in this region. We're lumped into the 46 million people that exist within the Caribbean, that has been identified in the Caribbean. We're not individual. So when you call it S-hole countries, talk to me, you'll remember these things. It wasn't just Haiti or Jamaica or some impoverished country that is below the third level, the third world status. We in that too. This sort of a bombing in the relationship that exists in these particular places, and we're seeing what's happening in Venezuela, we're seeing these particular things. Oh, come on, man. And then you go on stage to be able to talk more specifically about this case that's going to be brought up. And why would you invite people to your house? Why would you invite people to show them how silly you are? Or not even understanding that your provocation could lead to something else socially. That you introduce these concepts to the social element, to the social environment, and all it needs now is someone to respond to it for it to be able to get out of hand and get out of control. Why? Why don't take this kind of a concept of a statesman into serious consideration and understand that you have the responsibility to be able to act accordingly? Why? Why would you put yourself in this position? This fly is I don't know, they had the door open. This is making me upset. I can't deal with it. Why? Why would you put yourself in that kind of capacity? Why would you put yourself in that position? Why? Why? Kalal Bethel, you have a lot of way to go, especially in the free national movement. I can be honest with you because I believe that, guys, please forgive me right now. Sorry. Foundation242.com, Foundation242.com. Let's be able to identify these things and make some stuff happen. Now, let's talk about this. Okay? Let's talk about this. Kalal, Lincoln Bean, Michael Bonnet, Denari, not Lincoln Bean, Lincoln Deal. Who else? Jamal Moss, Nicole Martin. There's some people in the organization that I believe will remain buoyant, remain steadfast, remain committed, and be able to be the next dispensation of the free national movement. There's some people that I'm looking at that I believe that will stay put and be the next dispensation. Don't mess that up. The free national movement getting ready to fire everybody. They're looking at you. They feel like you did something contrary. They might have to come fire you too. Don't mess this up. Don't put yourself in this kind of a capacity just for the kicks and giggles of this moment that you mess up your future longevity in the organization. Hubert Ingram ain't there to be able to assist you no more. Hubert Ingram will not be there to be able to ensure that they can cloak you and find you in this kind of a comfy position anymore. You can't call Hubert Ingram to make sure that your daddy call your daddy to call Hubert Ingram, but you can't do that. You have to make sure that you solidify and shore up yourself in the organization. And things like this, not necessarily looks as a frown upon the organization, but from an international standpoint, when you want to step into your diplomatic capacity and you want to be able to be an ambassador or you want to travel elsewhere, these things will follow you. I keep trying to explain these things to you all. The United States of America right now is looking at an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old social media. Listen, man, let's just be straight with this. The United States of America right now is looking at an 18-year-old social media that they would have started from 2005, 2009, something like this, whenever they started this particular thing. And then making a determination as to whether or not the language that has been used, the tactics, the antics that was used on their social media platform, they're trying to find out whether or not these persons had anti-America sentiment or sentiment that went contrary to the beliefs, standards, and pillars that stand in the United States of America. Let's just shoot straight. Okay? Let's just shoot straight. If they're looking at the young people, listen, these children stupid, not in a bad way. The children fool. This is their entertainment. This is where they show themselves out, record it, put it on their social media platform for them, their friends, their family, so forth and so on. This is supposed to be kicks and giggles, but this is recorded and the entire world can see it. Then you go for your visa. Now they can tell you things like make sure that your social media page is not locked. You believe that if they're going to be able to do this for little children who's mentally unprepared to step into the next realm, who needs coaching to understand how do I find this path of maturity, you think they ain't going to look at your social media? You think they ain't going to try to type in Kalal Bethel? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. For kicks and giggles, you think I can go up there and destroy? You ain't married yet. You ain't got no children yet. None of these things. You think I can let that follow me because I want to impress the organization? No, man, let's do better than this. This is silly. This is silly. This is silly. You going up there and just start talking wildness, but would America steal election? Whoa, sir. How you getting these people business? How you getting these people business so strong? The Ministry of Foreign Affairs take on this kind of position and they send some stuff out. Let's read that and see exactly what's what and talk about it. Hold up. Our aspirations go before us sometimes. Our enthusiasm, the idea that we're doing the right thing, that goes before us sometimes. We want to make it clear that the Bahamas government, this is directly as a press release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on the attack of the U.S. President Trump by the FNM. And I don't know whether or not I give Fred Mitchell wrong for doing this. Let's read it. We want to make it clear that the Bahamas government disassociates itself with the remarks by an irresponsible actor on the Free National Movement stage on May 6, 2026, about the sitting president of the United States. He goes further to say, the Free National Movement actor suggested that the president of the United States was involved in what he called Stop the Steal election campaign in the country. The Bahamas government does not comment or involve itself in internal affairs of the United States of America. We work in the best interest of our country. We have advised all our public actors to refrain from commenting on U.S. domestic policies. The leader of the opposition should discipline his members' mouth, lest he and his colleagues put us in jeopardy by loose talk on a public stage. Ministry of Foreign Affairs didn't go into, why did you say that? Who could tell you to say that? Who could tell you to say that? Who could tell you to take a job now and say that? And then in the information it says that Michael Pintard, or the leader of the Free National Movement, should be able to kind of rein you in and discipline you accordingly. To discipline you accordingly. Let's just be very clear about this, okay? Michael Pintard himself was absolutely irresponsible for being able to take on this position and talk about an ongoing case from the platform that he was actually, that he mounted. Knowing that we have observers left, right, and center, the Free National Movement has fallen to a new low. You know that. The PLP, who historically would have been able to take a deep, nasty jab at these particular things, I don't see it. I could see some actors or some individuals responsible or who continues to be able to perpetuate the idea that they support their organization, the PLP. But from an official standpoint, I don't see that the PLP is sending anyone to the forefront to say these particular things. All right, so you may see Cindy Patrice Jackson, you may see G Money, you may see Kitty, you may see Queen Bee, you may see Independent Thinker, you may see Kyle Dean, you may see, well, Kyle Dean isn't official, right? But you may see these particular persons who, with enthusiasm, speak about the Progressive Liberal Party, but not necessarily saying, or the party hasn't said, these are our people from an official standpoint, accepted these people and been able to move in that particular capacity. Let's be very clear about this. Let's be very clear about this, okay? You don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. And for Michael Pintard to say what he said, I thought it was irresponsible. I thought it was irresponsible. Because Michael Pintard hasn't taken the time out to be able to speak with clarity about Marvin Deems' situation that is fresh on the minds and at the frontal lobe of all of our minds. I'm making sense. How are we talking? How are we talking? Marvin Deems, his affiliation, allegations, speculations about what has happened most recently with Mr. Goodman and his vessel and the transportation of narcotics. No one said anything about that. You said nothing about that. You've said nothing about that. You haven't done anything. If this was Code Smith and Code Smith had to go, I don't understand. Listen, I do not understand. I just don't understand. What are we looking at in the Free National Movement? What are we looking at? I don't know. Anyway, guys, tell me who you're voting for. Who you voting for? Give me a call. Let me know who you're going to be voting for. We're going to be able to take a little toll and tally right now and just be able to identify that. And we could tell by these numbers who you'll be voting for. Who are you voting for? Come Tuesday, who are you supporting? You can justify your position and being able to say, how would I support this one because of this, this, and this? How would I support this one because this, this, and this? I believe that this is the best government for us because of boom, boom, boom. Let's do about that. Let's take these particular things. Brave was firm and graceful at the same time. Like, I'm in charge. Don't get it mixed up. But love you, brother. That was his entire posture. He didn't go on. He didn't run on. He said, oh, you were afraid of Sabas being president or prime minister? He didn't run on with none of these things. Hey, listen. That ain't a bridge that none of us have to concern ourselves about. Right now, I'm the only prime minister on the ticket. Only leader on the ticket. We're having a conversation about the potential of Sabas being the prime minister, and he ain't in a seat yet. I don't understand that. Why we jumping so many hoops and we going so far without being able to talk about what exists right before us. Anybody worth their salt, worth their weight in gold, anybody who decides that they want to enter public life should have an aspiration just like Sylvanus Petty or Kurt Cornish to be the prime minister. It's simple. Now, many of us know that some of these fellas will never make that. They can't even make it to the cabinet. That the prime minister can't even see in them the potential to perform and produce in this particular manner. They can't make it to the cabinet. Now, they can have a conversation with us about the fact that they want to be able to be the prime minister. Yes, that's all of our aspirations. Some people want to be a billionaire. I want to be my son say a cajillion zillionaire. I say cajillion. That sounds like a lot. Yes, Daddy, it's a lot. Whoa. Cajillion. Okay. Anybody can say these things. Your mouth, it is work. Things just drop out of it all the time. Anyone can say these things and say they have aspirations to do this, and this, and so forth and so on. Anybody can say these things. Ain't nothing wrong with saying these things. Let them talk. As your fear is that Sabas could do. Let me tell you something. The level of ego and jealousy that exists in this game is amazing. I always hold men to a high regard. Me and my wife has had this conversation. We do our best to be able to identify men. I always gravitate to having conversations and making friends with people who I consider to be strong men. I do that. I take my time and look around, hang out, have good conversations with people who I consider to be strong men. Okay? Because you assess some men and you realize that they have some features, some qualities about them that cannot lend to sustainability in this relationship. You understand? Like, for instance, there's a couple people in the talk show world, right, who would talk about me, right? Now, I don't know that because I don't listen to their show, not in a bad way. And so people call me and say, how would this one saying something? But I get 5 calls. I say, hey, I'll send the text. I say, these people say you're saying something about me. It's just simple as that, right? And then this one guy at this one time on another station You never worked with us. Well, he worked at one point, but then he left. One time he just started to talk about me in such a manner that I didn't understand what it was. And I said to him, I said, what are you doing? I texted him, I said, hey, listen, some people saying some stuff. And so he says, no, I just was answering this particular question. I said, but why would you do something like this? I said, I've never, ever even brought your name up without being able to say, you will be a guest on my show or you're coming to sit with me. Why would you take on this kind of a position to do something like that, right? I said, there is an unspoken rule that exists. I texted him, I said, there's an unspoken rule that exists between those of us who share within this kind of confinement and this fraternity. If you have something to say to me, you should call me. I said, come to me and say something to me. We can have a very clear conversation if you have a particular position or some thoughts. I said, I don't have no problem with that. Let's talk like men. You would rather sit down and have a conversation with a woman about me. That was kind of a girly thing to me to do. Don't bother with people like that no more. People have an aspiration to be identified in a particular manner in this society. Very small society, people want to be viewed. And listen, they don't even care if they don't get paid for this, People want to be viewed in a manner that you see them as the boss. That's a subconscious thing. For a long time, you didn't want to be an Indian. You wanted to be a chief. For a long time, you didn't want to be a slave. You want to be the slave master. For a long time, you want to hold the proverbial whip over a Negro's neck and be able to tell him, do what you have to do or else I will boom, boom, boom. For a long time, our society has functioned in this manner. Brothers and sisters don't want to help you. There are many people out here, brothers and sisters, your blood brother and sisters don't want to help you get to where you want to go. This is historic. This is nothing new. This is historic. This is just what it is. People don't want to help you. Once you present yourself a dreamer, once you present yourself someone who has aspirations or an idea to be able to move in a particular manner, once you present yourself someone who wants to be able to grow and move in the direction that you want to go, once you start to spill this sort of a dream that you see your bale of hay bowing to me, oh God, who you think he is? I can do what? And they coming after you. There's a level of ego associated with this. A lot of these men get into politics, and the politics, they don't make no money. They hustling, they rinsing and repeating. They trying to be able to do what they could do with their JCPenney suits. They go into the flea market to get suits. I'm not dissing the people. I'm simply saying to you for the perception, the idea, the illusion, the aura, the allure of a particular position, they would do so much. They lack preparedness. They don't know how to reach out to business persons. They don't know how to articulate a particular visions. They don't never take an assessment of their constituency. They never commit themselves to the constituents. All they want you to do is call them boss. Mr. MB. Hey, what's up, Chief? Hey. And they will hurt themselves to get an MP plate and put it on their car. There's egos wrapped in this game. Egos. Ego. And a lot of these men who would have climbed the proverbial mountaintop and come back down with a glow on them, and that glow is fade very quickly. When they come back down with that glow on them, they will do whatever it takes to get back up that mount. They will do whatever it takes. Next go round, give me a chance again. People looked at them different. People treated them different. They got access. They got opportunities. This was the sweet life. As I look at these things, I realize that there's a level of ego associated with what's happening. Ego and pride. Ego and pride. Now, if that's what you need to present for your party and present for your position and present for these things, then do what you have to do. But the Bahamian people had enough of that. There needs to be cohesion. There needs to be growth, development. There needs to be a capability of being able to make something happen. There needs to be more than an idea that you promised me you could get something done. Who you voting for? Come Tuesday next week, who will you be voting for? Who will you be voting for? Let's see if we can read a couple of more of these things. It says, Bethel one day will want to be leader and will come up. And this will come up, all this nonsense he been doing during the election season. He's inexperienced. That's why when there was a question about who the FNM's Latreille is, I said none of them. The Free National Movement don't have any young person at the level of some of the young people in the PLP running things. That's heavy what you say, but because Papa has created an environment for soft men, you don't know what the young people have in them. You don't know the capability that they have in them. Some of them doing these things from a private standpoint, but when they come to the organization never engages them. The Free National Movement has a lot of talent, man. These dudes are talented. They're talented. They're underutilized. They are underutilized. And none of them have the strength to be able to say, this is what we're going to do. I used to be so disappointed in them. I don't say nothing, but I just leave them alone. I used to be disappointed in them. They sitting down here and know the history of the organization. Hubert Ingram was a bully. That's who Rick Fox should be talking to. Hubert Ingram was... You guys are bullies. Right here all day. Right here all day. You guys are bullies. You should be talking to Hubert Ingram. He was a bully. You couldn't tell Hubert Ingram nothing. You can't tell him nothing. It's his way or no way. Or he ain't coming. You can't tell Hubert Ingram nothing. Hubert Ingram leave the PLP. He did everything. He get involved in part, and he is the prime minister today. You couldn't tell him nothing as a youth. Nothing. You all sitting down there and letting him tell you all things. As biggity as they said that Lyndon Pillen was, he'd take on Lyndon Pillen face first, head on. And you all sit down for years and years with a flicker of a torch that you call torch bearers. And he ain't let them utilize you. Listen, DeShante Small, Kyle Dean, Keith Ron in Grand Bahama. Who else? Who else come up in the ranks? I don't know all the PLP people. But they climb. I think Arinthia was also a part of that that crew in the PLP that climbed significantly. These people are doing tremendous because the PLP believed in them and gave them an opportunity. Not your FNM. Not your FNM. They don't want to see you have no money. No. Lincoln Deal is a different situation. He's a hustler. He went to get what he had to get. He presented it. And I guess he gets some involvement in those areas. But it's a different situation. Yeah. All these fellas making money. They making a space for themselves. They ain't got to be renting nobody apartment in terms of as a member of parliament. Oh, Jesus God Almighty! I doing too much. I get people information sometimes it slip out of my mouth. It's too much. It's too much. The PLP can make sure that they're taken care of. They put them on a path for success. They empower them. They identify. They show them the ropes. They give them a handler. Hey, look here, y'all go to this one. This one can deal with you. Make sure that you ascend accordingly in the party. All of these things happen in the PLP right now. And the Free National Movement, rowing. They won't call you, you know anything with social media. I want you to go pick this up. Go do this, go do that. You was a gopher. You was a gopher. Listen, Richard Johnson leave the organization after he supported Loretta. That's how this happened. Richard Johnson was supporting Loretta. Okay? Richard Johnson do Loretta. He was, listen, Loretta's his girl. I think she still is his girl. You understand? And he supported him. And then after Loretta would have lost, he said he can leave the organization, so forth and so on. Anyway, worse worst came to worst and there was sort of a split, Richard found himself gravitating to the same man he was talking bad about. He found out some, because, proximity give you more information. He found out some information about Doc. He supported Doc. All this is in public light, right? He supported Doc. As a result of Doc, him and his support for Doc, Doc supported him finding his way on the council. He got there in the council. He's on the council. He's done well in the council. He's relentlessly advocated and agitated for Dr. Minnis in that particular capacity. After Dr. Minnis found himself ousted significantly in the organization, he would have left the organization, but he didn't just leave the organization. There was this sort of a tussle, this quote-unquote tussle that exists in these particular spaces that the Prime Minister continues to allude to, fighting in the parking lot, so forth and so on, which was not a statesman's-like posture, not a learned man's posture. There's no poise, there's no leadership that exists in these particular areas. And so Richard Johnson found himself supporting Brave Davis in this capacity, never been able to claim the PLP wholeheartedly and entirely, but more specifically being able to take on this kind of a task to speak strategically and specifically to the support that he levies or he lends to Brave Davis. And so as he's done that, the evolution thereof has placed him in the position of his relentless agitation for Brave Davis has placed him in a position of being able to agitate for the PLP, because they're synonymous. It's one and the same. Okay, it's one and the same. It's not Brave Davis and then separate and apart the PLP. It's Brave Davis and the PLP. It's collectively. Okay, and so he, with his agitation for the Progressive Liberal Party, even coming from the Free National Movement on their council and doing all these particular things, he has gotten tremendous support in the organization of the PLP. So much that you could hear his voice every night they have a rally. Michael Petty, Pintard, Port Authority. Every night. There is a segment of the organization that continues to be able to gravitate and also provide him with information so he could continue whatever he's doing, and he's supported significantly. Not you. They want y'all to be able to be in the back in a hot room somewhere on the internet, putting information out there, pushing it out, doing all these particular things, and they still don't have no honor and no respect for you. They look at you like a gopher. This your organization. There's no integrity at the top to understand the importance of being able to see the talent that exists in here. Your leadership has come to the entire country and start to talk about how they identify young people and they will help young people and so forth and so on, but never empowered you. Never empowered you. You got to catch a ride somewhere to do these particular things to help these people. Just what you got to do. They can't send you somewhere and say, hey, listen, tell them I send you boom, 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 and get this straight. I just make sure we can pay you X amount. You pay that for every month, and you can be able to get that. They can't help you. No one in the F&M helps you. If you get help, I can't even tell you what the people will say, what you got to do for help in the F&M. Not in a bad way. I'm simply saying to you that there's no reciprocity in the organization, not now. At least one, you could hold your breath. Minnis asked me to do this. Minnis asked me to help him one time, right? I ran for the chairman of the organization. In the midst of running for the chairman of the organization and doing all these particular things, Minnis said, don't worry about that, you're going to be all right. Now, I was supposed to get the nomination in West Grand Bahama. But Keisha come from the back of the bush and she beat me up. I said, I don't, listen, I know the principle of time longer than rope. Okay? I know the principle. I know if I act fool now and carry on stupid, so forth and so on, then any future consideration will be out of the window. Don't let emotion deal with you. I look at this and say, okay, Lord, well, I guess this is my time. Congratulations, Pakisha. Congratulations, guys. Go for it. Hey, Minnis, listen, anything I can help you with, just let me know. I'm here. Find ourselves in this position. We work and we doing all we have to do and making some things happen. Right? And what's going to happen? They call me. Somebody called me, not Minutes. Minutes people call me, Howard, we want you to be chairman of the organization. What? Chairman of the organization? I could do that. I start putting my team together, putting this together, putting the concepts together. I didn't have any money because every campaign, no matter how big or how small, every campaign requires you to have some mobility money. You need some walk-in money. You need mobility money. You need to be able to touch people, to move, and to be able to get some things done. You need mobility money. If you don't have that mobility money, you're at a disadvantage. They call me. They tell me, okay, Howard, we want you to do this. I say, okay, no problem. I get in the meeting that night. I nominate Howard Grant for chairman. And somebody else. I second that. I know who the people are. But I'm just saying to you that they were sent to me. They don't know me. They were sent to me. Okay. That didn't work out. I met 150 people, including yesterday. I was in BTC paying my bill. I met 150 people, almost 200 people. Oh, Howard, you was my chairman. I say, okay. I vote for you. How all of y'all people could vote for me and I only get 18 votes? I only get 18 votes, right? Carl Culmer wash the floor with me. I get rinse and repeat on the floor. And everybody who I meet from the F&M Council tell me, how would I vote for you? Including yesterday. But anyway, nonetheless, this happened. I left the organization as a result of, well, I not necessarily left the organization. I stepped back. I didn't have anything to do. I was waiting for something to get done. Minnis calls me. Minnis, Hubert Alexander Minnis, calls me and says, Howard, I want you on my executive team. I said, okay, Minnis, whatever you need me to do, I will do. He called me and he called somebody else. I don't call the people name. But anyway, he called somebody else. Also, big time in the organization. So I called the fellow, the big timer. So I said, hey, what's up? He said, hey, Howard, I just got informed that me and you supposed to be an executive. I said, yeah. I said, I got the same information. I didn't know what to do. Minister didn't tell me what to do. Ain't nobody called me. None of the handlers tell me what to do. Next steps, boom, 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 boom. Nothing. There's supposed to be, whenever you about to go into the council, there's supposed to be your name at the list, at the door, that this is the people who can access council. I go on there and I said, is my name on the list? No. I've been there must be 3 times. No. I call Minnis, I never get business back. So you have to hold your breath to see whether or not Minnis would be a man of his word. And for the most time, you will die of suffocation. For the most part. Unless, there's a benefit immediately for him, you will die of suffocation. Because I was blue in the face until I exhaled. And I said, this ain't gonna happen. And so you don't run behind people because that's what they like. Their ego is inflated by this. Man, this fella keep running. You think I want somebody saying that but me? Man, this fella keep running behind me. This fella that owe me $350. No. $250 to do some work right here in Nassau. $250. I go and take Guardian stuff to him to do the work. I do a remote. I have to pay the people at Guardian to this and that, all these things like that. I didn't do the work for the man, I didn't do it. Whatever he asked me to do, I did it, so forth and so on. He owes me $200 and something. He said, Howard, come back tomorrow for the money. I said, no problem. I come back tomorrow. He said, Howard, I don't have it right now. He said, can you come back a little later? I said, I'll call. So I called him a little later. Boom. See, Howard, I don't have it right now. Day after tomorrow, I should be able to have it. This happened for 2 weeks until I show back up at his establishment. And I said, hey, listen, what's up? I got to pay. He said, Howard, like you running me down, man. You need this money bad. You broke it. What? I was never so ashamed in my life. I was never so ashamed in my. You would think I was begging this man. You would think I'm walking behind him with a cup, shaking it. A change for the poor, a little something for the poor, right? What the little boy named from What the little boy named from Thomas? Is that his name? Thomas? Is that his name? From Scrooge. Just a little something for the poor. Just a little something for the poor. I was never so ashamed in my life. Ego is inflate these men's head when you run behind them. People right now I've done work for, and I decent. I ain't never called nobody name. I didn't produce things for them. I didn't write for them. I didn't do all these things for them. I got to call you 99 times for my money. I didn't write for you. You didn't do excellent on the people's stage. I didn't do all it. I got to call you 175 times for my money. Okay. There's egos in this thing, and that's how the Free National Movement treats you. The Free National Movement places you in this kind of a position where they feel like you are an indebted servitude to them, to the organization, and they could utilize you when and where they please, because this is how they've discarded people in the past, and you are just a newcomer who has to go through the ring of the exact same thing. The devil is a liar, sir. The people who you had here before was yes men and soft men. I don't do these things. I don't do none of these things. You didn't come here because, listen, I could do all of these campaign things for you. I got my own team. I got teams. When you identify these things, I just want to be very clear with you as we see these things. The Free National Movement has not empowered their people. And as we look at this, I try to figure out whether or not that reset is going to be within the confines of the Free National Movement. I can't get an amen. That button to reset that they wish to be able to push nationally should be pushed locally within the confines of the organization. Can I get an amen? Somebody text it. Amen, have it. That button to reset should be identified within the confines of the organization. Amen, Howard. Yeah, man. I'm telling you. You all got to get it together, man. You all got to get it together. I don't know whether or not this can be the round for you. And if you win, I promise you, you still ain't prepared. I promise you, you ain't prepared. I promise you, you ain't finished infighting yet. You ain't finished with minutes yet. You ain't finished with nothing yet. I promise you, you ain't prepared. You are not prepared. You ain't prepared. And so I wish you all the best. And I hope for you to be able to move on to that next level and make some things happen. But I don't think that you're prepared. And I can tell you, like Loretta said, I never lose. I only learn. As Loretta watches the entire thing from the sidelines with bated breath and low-calorie popcorn. Because, she's slim now. She ain't want no heavy butter. She probably only want 2 kernels. She sits on the sideline, popcorn in hand, watching. Because I tell you, if Loretta was in there, Loretta was going to be PM, I guarantee you. There's no two ways about it. Listen, the oligarchs and all those particular persons who released the money would have let the money go long time for Loretta. For Loretta? Woo! Hey, Loretta. Long time. Long time. Michael Pinto can't get no money. Information that we received indicating that, and this is information that come from some time back, so things have been possibly been modified, but based upon what we're seeing, may not necessarily be so. What we expect to be on the ground ain't there. They're having poster wars. They're having sign wars. They're having sign wars. And they shadow box and fighting with themselves. They're having sign wars. And so only one set of people making money off the Free National Movement. The people who do the tent ain't making no money. The people who do the audio ain't making no money. The people who work the grounds ain't making no money. Ain't nobody making no money off the F&M except the sign people. We got to talk about these things and talk with clarity. When we get back, we can read a couple of these predictions, who they're going to be voting for. I'd like you guys to be able to get in there and give me some information. 827-0111, 827-0111. Right? Somebody text me, Howard, Kyle Kummer was the worst chairman ever. They ever had. Well, this is what you want. You got to get what you want. You get. That's what you get. That's what you want. That's what you get. Praise God. Let's take this quick break, guys. Going to be right back after this. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, live and in full effect. This is The Foundation. I'm Howard Brand, grateful to be in your company, always grateful to be here with you. Let's talk about these things and talk about where we are from this perspective, trying to be able to make sense of it all, to find out where you are and who you're going to be voting for. Last night, it was a great deal of people that actually turned out in Grand Bahama, and I saw some people who I hadn't seen in a long time. You know, I'm from Grand Bahama, so I look into the crowd trying to see who I see, and a lot of my friends look like, well, I've seen these people. I haven't seen these people in a little while, right? There was something that's being said about Sabas. Everybody had their kind of a position to talk about, but there was something that this gentleman has said who's from Fort Charlotte. And it resonated with me. And I won't be able to say this. You say, but, you say, Hubert Ingram, but, you know, let me see if I can find it for you. I don't know if he cuss. I hope he ain't cuss. All right? I can look for it. I think James has it on his page. Right? I got to be able to say condolences to Nita. Condolences to her and her family. To her family on her passing. Anita Rowe, she passed away from cancer. She was working at the Nassau Guardian for a while. And she's passed away. And so that's a sad thing. Got to be able to say condolences to her and her family as she continues to be able. She's a sweet soul. I know her, right? So let me see. Let me see what James got up here. Because they put something up and they started to talk about these things. And I said to myself, I never had that perspective. Right? James has put a lot of stuff up, but I just don't know. Sometimes these things are inappropriate to be able to kind of put into a social media space. But there has been some people who spoke with clarity and passion on certain perspectives and certain positions. And to be able to not necessarily defend Sabas, but to be able to identify a position that they would have taken for a long time. And so this guy says, let me just tell you. So this guy says, listen, Prime Minister, I hear you and everything, right? And we respect you and everything like that, right? But I want to say this to you. I'm from Fort Charlotte. And for the very first time, these dudes in Fort Charlotte, they're facing screw up, they ain't angry. They, for the very first time, have been smiling for a very long time. This is what he said. He said they've been smiling for the first time in a long time. He said the block happy, these fellas are happy, things are happening in their constituency, great things are happening. This is what it is. This is a lot. There's a lot. I got to be able to say that to you. I got to say that to you. And as we identify that, I think that that's one of the things that we have to consider. That I know Grand Bahama. I know the depression that existed in Grand Bahama for a very long time. I know that there wasn't an assured position to be able to state that this is who you are and where you are. I know that. I know that. I know that. I know from 2004, that's over 22 years, we've been on shaky ground in Grand Bahama. And I'm talking directly to Grand Bahama. I know that you wasn't in a short position in 2007 because the Prime Minister would have focused so much of his attention on the development of Nassau. You wasn't in an assured position in 2012 because the Prime Minister would have focused the majority of his developmental focus and his legacy on Nassau. In 2017, the Prime Minister at the time gave Grand Bahama a Governor General, a Deputy Prime Minister, and we still didn't see anything happen in Grand Bahama. And so naturally we turned to the Port Authority. naturally, we said, well, it can't be a government issue. It has to be an issue from the internal standpoint. And so slowly but surely, there was sort of a shift towards identifying what's happening internally within the Port Authority. Never considering the fact that this is incompetence, never considering the fact that this is just pure, ignoring the sort of an idea of being able to supersede you and say that you don't have value in this space. Talk to me. That's just what it is. I know that we've been going through for 22 years. 22 years in Grand Bahama. We've been on again, off again, and the way that the water pressure, the proverbial water pressure is coming out, is just dripping out for those that survive. For a great deal of people, we have left Grand Bahama. There's a home, We have left Grand Bahama. A great deal of people left Grand Bahama. This is what it is. And so as we look at this now and we make this determination, I know this is not going to be the easiest thing, because one, you have this kind of a fear, a phobia, governmental phobia. You were afraid to give your trust to a government again. You were afraid to believe that this government can actually assist you. You were afraid. And guess what? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I moved to Nassau running after the DNA. The DNA disappointed me, and I left the organization. Still good friends with Brian, but he knew why I left, and he could see that there was writing on the wall. It was over. I left the organization, and I tried to kind of listening to what was happening in the back of my head when I was walking the ground in central Grand Bahama, and people say, boy, if you come back in an F&M shirt, yeah, boy, we'll take care of you. I tried to be able to rejoin the organization. I applied for the constituency. All these things happen. I'm telling you. And it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I moved out of Grand Bahama. Now you could hear me in Grand Bahama. But I got to say this to you. You have a choice to make. You could go with the rhythm that is content, that you're content with. You could go with the rhythm that you're comfortable with. You could go with the rhythm that you're familiar with. You could go with those particular things if that's what you want to do. You can go with that. If that's what you want to do, you can go with that. Or you could try something new. I don't know. You could try something new. I'm about to do what I've never done before in my entire life. And I've never felt so sure about a decision than what I feel about the decision that I'm about to make. God spare my life on Tuesday. Some of you would like me to make this on Thursday. No. Right? This decision that I'm about to make on Tuesday. I have never felt so assured. When I voted for Vaughn Miller. I was not sure what the hell I was doing. I was not sure what I was doing. And then I voted for Brian Brown. I voted for Vaughn as an F&M. I voted for Brian as an F&M. And I was not sure about the decision I made. I am so assured on this particular position. I'm so assured in the steps that we will take on Tuesday. I didn't want to vote in the advance poll because I want to be a part of the excitement that's going forward. And I want to be able to, you know what I mean? I just want to be, it's just like. But I feel assured about this decision that we're making. Now, you have to be able to be assured in your position also. I cannot vote because I like an organization or because there's an affiliation with the organization or my family has an affiliation with this organization. I have to be able to vote for my future. I have to vote for my children. And I guarantee you, I'm saying to you that I'm looking at the chaos that exists within the electoral period, the electoral cycle. I'm looking and dissecting these particular organizations. I'm looking at their I'm looking at their history. I'm looking at what my expectations are from them. I'm looking at all of these particular elements, and I'm making a determination that this is what I think we need to do going forward. I can extend that to you because you're not a part of the intimacy of my family. And so I have this conversation with my wife and my children. And I say to them, I say, let's look at these particular things, and this is what I believe will happen. And I think that this could happen, boom, boom, boom. And our dependency has never been on a government. But our desire and our reliability is on opening up avenues to be able to ensure that we can access some stuff. Howard Grant is an entrepreneur. I haven't worked for someone in 14 years. And that has not been an easy thing. I guarantee you, I just need you to understand that it has not been easy working for myself. You hit a lick, and as soon as you hit a lick, you make a couple dollars, whatever the case may be, you got to pay bills that you ain't paid for months. You got to fix a car when it wasn't fixed. You got to do this, you got to do that, boom, 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 boom. As soon as you hit a little lick, then you're right back at it again. You got to be able to do that. And this, because it's not an environment that actually assists those particular small and medium-sized businesses to be able to help them find momentum and mobility and moving forward like that. I would have been able to get a little piece of something with the Overhill Initiative, with the Free National Movement. I would have been able to get a little piece of something with the initiatives that this particular administration has been able to do and opening up aspects and so forth and so on. But the truth is that who will provide me with sustainability? Who would provide me with that steady hand and that approach to be able to get these things? Then I got my money on a particular body. Who's that party for you? 827-0111, 827-0111. Let's talk about these things and let's be able to find these things out. Let's find out exactly what's what. Good afternoon, Howard Grant. The Free National Movement might win 19 through to 21 seats, and the PLP might win 16 to 19 seats. We may see 2 independent candidates elected. Here is my prediction. 5 seats. Gotta see to believe. Carmichael, St. James, Golden Isles, Kalani, Pine Ridge. I don't know why you keep putting Carmichael in this. I don't know why you keep putting Carmichael in this. I don't know whether or not Arinthia is a contender in this race outside of the fact that she's paid her $400. I don't know whether I haven't heard from her. I haven't seen anything. There's no information coming to me to say that she's on the ground touching these particular people. I'm not saying that she cannot win. But when Desmond was in there, we knew that Desmond was touching people. We knew that Desmond had significant sociability and social likability, so forth and so on. We knew exactly was what. I don't know why you keep dragging Arinthia in there. Is it because there is a disdain for Keith Bell? Oh, we don't want Keith Bell. Is that because there is a disdain for Keith Bell? Let's be clear about this. I don't know why you keep dragging her in there. I'm not going to fight you. Bamboo Town. Let's read the next one. It says F&M seats, 19 seats. Nassau, St. Anne's, Tall Pines, Yamacraw, South Beach, Marathon, Baintown, Freetown, Southern Shores, Bamboo Town, Fox Hill, and Pinewood. That's F&M seats in Nassau. And then they go forward and says F&M seats in Grand Bahama on the Family Islands, Marco City, Central Grand Bahama, South Abaco, North Eleuthera. Hold on, wait. You doing a lot. You're doing a lot. Let's look at it and let's go. FNM on the Free National Movement seats on the island, Marco City, East Grand Bahama, Central Grand Bahama. That's 3 seats for the PLP. For the FNM. South Abaco, North Eleuthera, and Abaco. North Eleuthera and Abaco. Are you saying North Eleuthera and North Abaco? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yeah, that's what you are saying. So you're saying North Eleuthera and North Abaco? So the FNM in North and South Abaco? Said Upper Advantage momentum is heavier. Okay? 17 seats for the PLP. (19-16). FNM getting 19 seats. Hold on, let me see what you say. FNM getting 19 seats. All right, let's go. And then it goes further to say PLP gets 17 seats. Are you texting this thing? You text this. Clear this up for me. Make me understand. You said, good afternoon, Howard. FNM may win 19 through to 21 seats, and the PLP may win 16 through to 19 seats. So essentially, you have 3 seats up in the air. Let's look at it. So you said for the PLP, assured seats is St. Barnabas, Elizabeth, Seabreeze, Engliston, Mount Moriah, Centerville, Garden Hills, Golden Gates, Fort Charlotte, and 9 seats, Upper Advantage in Nassau, and the momentum is strong. Okay? And then you say it's in the Family Island, 7. So you got South and Northern Andros for the PLP. You got Cat Island, Rum Key. You got that for the PLP. You got you got Exuma for the PLP. You got Bimini and Berry Islands. You got West End. You got South Eleuthera. You don't have Pine Ridge anywhere in here. You don't have Pine Ridge anywhere in here. You don't have Pine Wood anywhere in here. Oh, okay. You got Pine Ridge in here. You don't have Pine Wood anywhere in here. You don't have Nassau Village anywhere in here. You ain't got all the seats, man. You ain't got all the seats. You ain't got all the seats. And if you put Nassau Village in there, Nassau Village, PLP. You put Pinewood in there, Pinewood. Let me see if you got Pinewood in there. Or you got Pinewood in here for the Free National Movement. You ain't got Pinewood in here for the thing. Nassau Village in here for. You don't have Nassau Village in here for the Free National Movement. For the PLP. Let's look at that. That's his prediction. Let's be able to see this. This is Howard. I want to be able to see this. See, where are these people getting these 21 to 27 seats from for the FNM? I want to see their list. We have gone through this particular thing. We have gone through this. And the seats that we put up in the air with clarity. And let's do this because we got some time. Let's just do this, okay? With clarity, the seats that we put up in the air, we put an asterisk to it. We put up in the air an asterisk to East Grand Bahama. We believe it's going to be for the Free National Movement, but that girl is putting up a significant fight. I love her drive, her determination, her focus, and her commitment in those particular areas. We believe that may be something to be able to look at. Also, Paco is still giving Frazette a significant run for her money. Paco is giving Frazette a run for her money. This is not going to be a just sort of a walk in the park. If Paco is properly organized and he understands how to be able to work his polls and he get those people to be able to get out there and get their people, Paco could win this. If Paco could be able to get those people out there to vote, if he by 12 o'clock, by 10:30, 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock, He's ready to know who vote in various polling divisions. They already convene. They say, okay, boom, boom, boom. We are down in polling division number 7. How many people came to polling division already? Number 7 already. Let's just say polling division number 7 has 400 people registered in that polling division. Okay? From 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., 203 people show up. Okay? You got 197 people who ain't come yet. 203 people show up already for polling division number 7 in Central Grand Bahama. If Paco know how to run this thing, he get his runners. He said, listen, come back, polling division number 7, and listen, I need you to be able to identify those particular people who has come. All right, these are the people that we know from polling division number 7. They came out already. Boom, 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 boom. This is how you win. This is how you win. This is how you win. You ought to just be out there wearing people clothes and wearing your PLP shirt and your F&M shirt, and you don't know that you want a job. You don't know because nobody tell you how to do this. So you got your walkie-talkie, somebody's called a runner. And the runner's responsible for being able to be on the ground. They in the ground, they riding up and down in the bus all day. The bus got air conditioning, the bus got water, the bus got all these things. You taking people all day. Hi, how you doing? You okay? We want to be able to take you polling division. Which one of the polling divisions? All right, we'll take you to that poll. Jump in the bus, you go to the polling division, bang a line. Inside the bus, you have the bus people playing all day, your people. So the reason why I want to be able to vote for Paco Deal is because Paco Deal, boom, 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 boom. So you play that in one little TV up in the bus. You ain't saying nothing to these people. You ain't trying to convince them nothing. No, we're going to take you. That's just okay. That's okay. It's just so you don't walk. Come on, jump in the bus. Let's go. Boom. You carry them out there. 197 people haven't voted in this particular polling division. You call the people in the polling and the constituency. You say, how many people voted? 197 persons. How many of our persons showed up? 100? Only 100 of our persons showed up, and we wasn't sure is exactly what's what. All right. Who hasn't showed up? Okay, so these some strong people that you already didn't know. There's some strong people in the polling division that your people are responsible. See, y'all don't know how to campaign, and I guarantee y'all ain't doing it right. There's some people in the polling division that you already didn't identify as strong. You got Mama Julia. Let's call her Mama Julia. Mama Julia there in polling division number 7. She have 8 votes in her house. Mama Julia already then give you a concept, an idea that she has historically been a PLP. She like what they say and she don't like what's happening over here. She had problems, this and this. And you ask her, how can we help you to be able to make a decision to give us a chance? That's a very clear. What can we do for you to help you, to make you to understand that we are the organization that you should choose? Okay? That ain't no bribe. That ain't no this. That ain't no that. You ain't asking for nothing. And we ain't talking about no money. We're asking, what do we have to prove to you? What do you need to see? Well, let me talk to the boy. That's normally what you hear. That's normally what you hear. Normally what you would hear is that, I never see him, I never had nothing to talk. I never say nothing to him. I won't talk to him. Mama didn't make up in her mind. If she like you, everybody in the house can vote for you. That's how it is work. That's how it is work. Some of the young people just go to mama, who we voting for? That's how it is work. That still is work like that. That's why if you get the older women, if you get the matriarch of the family, you get the whole house. Once mama say this is what we doing, this is what we doing. That's simple. No two ways about that. If mama say this is what we doing, that is what we doing. If Paco has a good ground game, he could take this from Frazette. And I believe that a lot of the men, a lot of these candidates will fail as a result of a lack of a ground game. You don't know your game. You don't know the play field, your playing field. You don't know. I think that a lot of persons will fail as a result of that. I believe that you will. I believe that you will. I believe that you just sitting down there praying to Jesus that people get up and get to you. You don't have no time for that. You pray to Jesus when we go in. Go to a place that I will show you. You on a mission. You got to go. You go to the doors. You got their numbers. You call them. You go and pick them up. You find out exactly where they are. We need your vote. Come on and let's vote, baby. Let's go. That's how you win this thing. You can't win this being casual. You have to know your game. I learned that. You know how I learned that? I learned that from David Wallace. I learned this kind of a concept and idea from just being able to hold out. See, there are some polling divisions, you already didn't do your numbers. There's a PLP polling division, this one can beat you. Or there's an FNM polling division, this one can beat you. But you have to convince as many persons in the polling division to be able to give you a chance so you could, if you lose, you get to lose by low numbers. You lose by 3 numbers, 3 votes. If they beat you out by 69 votes, whoo, you in problems. You're in problems. You're in problems. You're in problems. Because you got to hope that you pick up 150 votes in your polling division. And the strength of your polling division, and sometimes your polling division is only 5 polls. And 5 polls, and those polls on an average is 350 people a poll. You got to hope that you pick up 150 in each one of those polls. You got to hope to God that you pick those particular numbers up. And once you could pick them up, you could be able to make a difference. Frazette, if she don't have a good ground game, she could still lose this. Because why? The truth is that you just can't sit down and hope that people in Central Grand Bahama jump up and go and vote FNM. There are some people, and the numbers have already shown you that there are some people who do not participate. That's it. Now, the PLP could really show us who they are if they could get those people to participate. You know, it's a mind-boggling thing. If we get 80 to 85% people to show up and the PLP win, this administration shifted the dynamics of politics in the country for good. If we get 80 to 85% of the people showing up, which is 202,000 people, 80 to 85% of those people show up, which is what? 160-some thousand people. If you get 160-some thousand people to show up to the general election, if you get 150,000 people to show up to the general election, normally that would scream a victory for the FNM. That's just what it is. The more numbers you have out, the diversity is diminished. Or it becomes more concentrated. Let's do that. Okay? The more numbers you have out to vote, that comes out to vote, the more you can be able to identify that there is diversity, there's complexity, there is an idea that people want something different. And so your base is wrapped in that, but your base only equates to about 33%. 35% tops. If the base of the Free National Movement is 33%, the base of the PLP is 33%, then you got another 33% who's undecided, 34% who's undecided and being able to make a determination. The COI can grab 10 to 12% of that. You got 20%, which is another 20,000 people who ain't vote yet. If you could capture their imagination with this sort of choose progress, this will be absolutely mind-boggling, and it will be a campaign that can be able to be etched into the annals of time and history that for us to be able to study for years to come. Because they've changed the dynamics of how everything is identified and how everything is done from this point forward. And so that's that. In the family of islands, sir, the text that you just sent me, the only things that we have the PLP, we have the FNM for MyCal, we have the FNM for North Eleuthera, we have the FNM for for South and Central Abaco, we have the FNM for East Grand Bahama, we have the FNM for Marco City, we have the FNM for Central Grand Bahama. That's where we have the FNM. And this is out of 16. And that is 7 that we have for the Free National Movement in the family of islands that we can see. That's 7. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I thought it was 7 that we had. That's strange. Mical, FNM. North Eleuthera, FNM. South and Central Abaco, FNM. East Grand Bahama, FNM. Marco City, FNM. Central Grand Bahama, FNM. That's only 6. If that's only 6, that means that we have 10 here for the PLP. Long Island, Eleuthera. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't put Long Island. Okay? So that's 7. Yeah. So Long Island, Mical, North Eleuthera, South and Central Abaco, East Grand Bahama, Marco City, and Central Grand Bahama. So that is 7. 7 out of 16. And then we went to the Family Islands. We went to Nassau, I'm sorry. And for the Free National Movement, we have Tall Pines, which is on your list. We have St. Anne's, which is on your list. We have Hold on. 7 and 2 is 9. That's all we give them in Nassau. Only 2 seats. Tall Pines, and we give them 2 assured seats. Tall Pines and St. Anne's. We put Marathon up in the air. We put Yamacraw up in the air, like you said. We put South Beach up in the air. We put Southern Shores up in the air. We put Freetown up in the air. We put Fox Hill up in the air. We put Kalani up in the air. Okay? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seats in the air in Nassau. So even if the PLP, even if the Free National Movement wins those 7 seats, including the 2 seats that they have in Nassau, that'll be 9 seats out of 25 seats. And so the 9 and the 9, the 9 and the 7 gives the FNM 16 seats. (16 seats), and so it places the PLP in the position of 25 seats. If we've identified every one of these particular seats and say the ones with the asterisk will go for the Free National Movement, the PLP still has 25 seats. I don't know where you get this other stuff from. I don't know. I hadn't put an asterisk to, I can put a star right here now though, because of what you said. I hadn't put an asterisk to Carmichael Road, and I had not put an asterisk to Pinewood. Now, it's a possibility that these people, based upon the rhythm what existed before, can be able to make a determination and go with the opposition. But it will not be in their best interest and best benefit. I can't say that they should do. I could say it would not be in their best interest. For instance, Pinewood. In my mind, it wouldn't be in their best interest to make a determination to be able to go with the Free National Movement, not for this dispensation. But we already didn't know Pinewood. Their care and concern ain't nothing would happen. And politics is always local. They still looking at their house. Some of their house probably still smell like mold and mildew every time it rains, so forth and so on. This could be aggravating to people. This could be frustrating to people. This could be a very upsetting thing. And they're looking for some change, growth and development opportunities elsewhere. And they kept searching for that for the past decade, 2 decades. And so they keep making this decision, FNM-PLP, FNM-PLP. And now you have seniority and experience, and you have a novice and youth. And if you choose a novice and youth over seniority and experience, then it says to me that your care and concern is not trying to be able to relieve and remedy an issue that you have in your constituency. All you want to do is reject somebody. That's what I see. That's what I see. Let's go. Let me see if I can be able to read a couple more of these before we get out of here. Let's go. 827-0111, 827-0111. Let's be able to find that some, Howard, I don't know where these people are getting these stuff from. I want the list of them particular seats. Okay, no problem. Let's see if we can find them. All right, so here we go. Good afternoon, Howard, again. Here we go. Howard Grant, I forgot Nassau Village, but that seat is a PLP seat. PLP in Pine Ridge. North Abaco is a seat that you got to see to believe. Ginger and Macalpine might have to go to election court. I keep putting Carmichael as a seat to believe seat because the Free National Movement have strong base in Carmichael. The Free National Movement had over 5,000 people voted in the FNM in 2017 election. Keith Bell only had 2,600 votes in 2021 election. If Arinthia Komolafe can get 2,800 through the 3,000 of them in 2017 vote to polls, get them out to the polls, she will win the seat, but Keith Bell is a strong contender. That's not, okay. I don't think that that's going to happen. It could happen if the Free National Movement had a message that was magnetic. It could happen if the Free National Movement had an undeniable momentum. It could happen if there was enough finances behind a national and a community-based campaign to cause people to move towards them. It could happen. Information that we received out of Carmichael Road is that for the first time, the candidate was trying to sell South. I don't know how serious that, I don't know whether or not that was accurate. That she was trying to sell South from the front of her headquarters. Every time I pass by her headquarters, I don't see anybody congregating there. I'm telling you, I pass and I drive by these particular things. I don't see that sort of an activity. There is no magnetism. There is nothing that actually pulls you towards her. Okay? She's hitting you with the formality of what an organization should do in terms of being able to represent with a couple of shirts here, there, so forth and so on. But I'm not hearing the impact touch the political lines. And what's the political line? See it on my hand? I'm not hearing the impact touch the lines. I'm not hearing people call me and say, Howard, Arinthia? I have not heard Arinthia Komolafe's name the entire time. She may be on the ground, but even if she's on the ground, this is what I do for a living. Somebody can call me and say, boy, Howard, that girl doing good. Because we talk about Keith Bell all the time. We're talking about Keith Bell. Keith Bell is always in the media, is always in these particular places, always talking about these things, and we're talking about him. And as a result of us still being able to talk about him, the fact of the matter is as we see this, talk to me, as we see this, somebody should have been able to say something to us about Arinthia. Nothing. Nothing. No one has said to us that her campaign is absolutely undeniable. It is attractive. It's magnetic. It is overwhelming. This is excellent. No one has said that to us. Anything could happen. But she's not making it happen. She's hoping that it happens, or she's letting it happen by itself. She's not at the wheel, being able to take charge. The Free National Movement at this particular point is not at the proverbial wheel taking charge to ensure that that magnetism, that magnet, that sort of an idea to pull people in is cut on. They have not done that. They hoping it does. They hoping. They praying to their lucky stars that it does. And so when you start to talk about this, listen, and then something else. The PLP has a tremendous amount of momentum throughout the length and breadth of the Bahamas. Not just here in Nassau. When we saw the campaign in Abaco, it was strong numbers. When we saw the campaign in Bimini, for the size of Bimini, it was strong numbers. When we saw the campaign in Grand Bahama, it was strong numbers. Anywhere we saw the PLP show up, the numbers were significant. Oh, Howard Church don't vote. I need telling you that people only can show up and they can gravitate towards the people who have momentum. And what it does to your subconscious and your psyche is say, mother's sick. The PLP already didn't win, man. I might as well don't bother with this. As a supporter of the Free National Movement, I might as well don't even vote. Yeah, man, the PLP carry this one. Anyway, we coming back in 2031. That's what it does to your psyche. It does that to your psyche. If there was a compatible size at the rallies, if we saw people coming out, if this was this sort of a neck and neck concept, then yes, Orinthia had a significant chance. But I just don't see what you see. I just don't see it. That's just me. I could be wrong, but I don't see it. Text me back and let's be able to talk about these things. Yeah. And so it says, Orinthia said, good afternoon again, Howard. I have come to the fact that how it ain't looking good for the Free National Movement. This supposed to be a grand slam election, but they lack financial initiatives and funding, and the Free National Movement still stuck in the 90s method of winning the election without no proper financial preparation and funding. I just hope that the Free National Movement win over 15 seats. I don't think that the Free National Movement can hit 15 seats. I don't think that they will. There's two ways. Okay? On the very low end, they may hit 15 seats, but I don't think they can get over 15 seats. The Free National Movement has spent its time. There's no one in the organization. The leader is not a unifier. There's no one. We didn't give him all the time we can give him. It's over. It's finished. Okay? We didn't give him all the time we could give him. We then waited years and years and years whilst we was travailing. He has been in the labor room and dilated to 28 centimeters. He's supposed to then give birth to this unification in the FNM. Everybody has been waiting with bated breath. They've been waiting for him to be able to produce and perform and provide and present. They've been waiting for Michael Pintar to be able to be stupendous. We've been waiting for him to use his art form, his articulation, his poetic skills to be able to bring people together in such a way that the entire country looks at them and say, oh my God, I can't believe that this is what it is. This guy is absolutely amazing. They've tried their best to be able to give Michael Pintar what he needed. The organization gave him a boost in June of 2024 to be able to step in a particular position and being able to rally his people together. He won handsomely on the floor of the election with the support of Hubert Alexander Ingram and a great deal of people at the background to be able to ensure that he could beat Minnis, and he did beat Minnis. He beat Minnis 3-1, and that was a short-lived victory for him because his next step was to be able to unify the the organization, and he was unable to unify the organization. There was still a fraction where people are saying there's Nassau centricity. There's still a fraction that been able to feel distant and behind. The money stopped right after June 24th. They didn't put money into anything, so they start again, stop again, and this sort of momentum, this break in the momentum has placed them in this kind of a position. He's done nothing to pull the momentum back. He's done nothing to touch these particular people. He's done nothing to unify these people. All he has done is being able to look at the absolute glaring issues that happens in the PLP. We can't blame you. We can't blame you. We don't disagree with you. There's some things that needs to happen and change in the PLP, but the PLP can deal with that. There are also some things that need to be able to happen within the confines of the Free National Movement. And you ain't never dealing with that. You never say nothing to us about Rick Fox and his antics. You never said anything to us about Marvin Dames. You never said anything to us about those particular prospects and stuff like that. You've never been able to come to the forefront and talk to us about what was happening with Shannon Cartwright during this particular time. All you do, you're relentlessly being able to deflect and find out and say, yeah, but look at them. You don't worry about us. Yeah, there's a small issue that we did, but look at them. And then you spread out their issue far and wide to talk about these things. You continue to do it. You did it again last night. You continue to do it. You continue to be able to plant in the subconscious of minds in this Bahama land that there is a thief in our midst, that someone is going to steal the election, that there is a concerted, coordinated effort to be able to steal this election by ordinary Bahamians who have surrendered their sovereignty, who have surrendered themselves, who have surrendered this particular concept to ensure that we can bring Haitians into the country, to ensure that we can be able to do all that. This is what you selling to the Bahamian people. That's your campaign. Your campaign is to tell the entire country that, yeah, listen, there is a coordinated effort of people working in these particular areas strategically and specifically to open the doors to illegal migration. They're selling our passports, and this is what the PLP have them to do. That is absolutely garbage. What you're saying, it is garbage. Garbage. That there is some secret political Illuminati room that all these people are going in, and you have to say a secret word to get inside. And when you get inside, they work for all of them are PLPs, and they bringing in PLPs and FNMs and saying, we want you all to do this. That's what you're saying to us. This is the concept that you're selling to the Bahamian people, and this is exactly what the Free National Movement did in 1987. That's why you lost in 1987. You was more concerned about, you see, anytime you're running a race, now, as a big fella, so I never run no race like this. But I knew the principles from when I was in school. And the teacher would always tell you, whenever you're running, don't never look behind, you just keep pushing forward. The Free National Movement, they looking behind, left, right, and center, never focus on their race. And telling you everything about everybody else's race, and they expect to win like that. They expect to win. Ad nauseum, you telling us about all these things. Brave, and this one is that, and you got Andre Rollins coming here calling people thief, and Carlisle Bethel calling people thief, and you got Papa. I can't believe he joined the Free to call people thief. I can't believe that. I can't believe that you allow Papa, you go on the people's stage and try to creep in our subconscious that what you said, that no one could thief the election. What I meant is when I said you can't thief the election is that you got to watch them. You got to watch them. You got to, hold on, Papa, why did you do that? Absolutely dishonorable. That is the pits. And you let this man pull you, who in the prime of your life, living outside of the confines of the established politics in this country, you would have done your part. You finished with that. And now to be able to ruin your reputation and the collateral that you have in this country and the legacy that you hold in this country, you wish to diminish that. After you already then retired and genuflected, you ain't like Perry Christie. You ain't like Perry Christie. Perry Christie in his particular capacity had it diminished. He lost and so he was unceremoniously discharged. You gracefully bowed out. But now you're coming back to be unceremoniously discharged by adding to the fray and having a conversation like this, diminishing the value of how we identify these things in this country, all for the purposes of seeing that you could help Michael Pintard, your teammate, to win. Spilling foolishness in our country is absolute foolishness. Guys, that's the show today. I want to thank you guys so very kindly for being able to be here with us as we continue to jam with you. It is a beautiful day. I want to thank you guys so very kindly. D-Day next week, Tuesday. Have a great weekend. I know you guys are going to go to some rallies or whatever you're going to be doing. Whatever you do, do so safely and do so with a very conscious understanding that it's time for us to be able to make a decision for growth and development. It's time for us to move this country forward. I want you guys to be able to do that, and I want to be able to be a part of this as we make these things happen. I am looking forward to next week, Tuesday. We're not going to have any show in the morning next week, Tuesday, but we will have a show in the evening. I want to thank you guys so much for that. We're going to see y'all next time right here on The Foundation. Have a beautiful day, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy yourself, and we'll see you next week. God's spare our lives.
First and foremost, I gotta thank God. I thank God. First and foremost, I gotta thank God.